to get to where I can see like my videos and stuff. Let me try to go to my channel here and pull it up. That way people can see. Um, People can go along with the chat, I guess. And that would be better for people that need something to watch. And that would be better for people that need something to watch. So, is anybody in the chat? All right, Clutch Bear, how you doing? Trying to figure this out here so that way, so I could leave it open and it'll be, talking to you while people can go along with the chat. But I'm wondering if it'll let me do it because usually I have to put it like on pause. Oh, okay, let me put it on pause. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Is everything good? Is everything straightened out? Am I done? Not making sense and muttering and all that. Is everything good? Claire, can you let me know if the sound's okay and everything? If I'm making any sense? Because I was really focused this morning on a topic, right? That I really wanted to share with as many. I don't know how many people are going to show up or whatever. And oh, that's fine. Hey, if you can't stay long, that's fine. I totally understand. Usually people come in, say hi, and then they leave. But it's good that they support. I'd rather you guys do that than take off. But yeah, like the topic I was thinking about today is like how we deal with people that are lost, right? There's a lot of people out there that you could say that they act in a way that like a Christian wouldn't act, right? They might do some perverted things. I wouldn't even say that. They might be overly sexual, or they might be overly materialistic, or they might be, you know, of the world, right? And or they might have a different lifestyle that's not really supported in the Bible, right? And so there's a lot of people like that, right? I would say the overwhelming majority of the world is like that, right? And so I've seen a lot of people, right, complain about that, right? Like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like this lifestyle, or I don't like that, or this person is doing this, or this person is doing that. And what I've learned, right, is that I need just as much help getting into heaven as that person, right? And the reason I stopped that perverted is because there are people out there doing evil things, right? That needs to be exposed, and they need to go to jail and suffer in some kind of human way. And let God show mercy on them if that's what's going to happen. But as far as human tolerance, evil is very hard to tolerate. But as far as like an alternative lifestyle, somebody's out there lying, somebody's out there being materialistic, somebody's out there being too into pride and ego and all this stuff, right? Well, that doesn't fit into the narrative, right, of what is good in the Bible, right? But I'm not better than that, right? I'm not a better person than that, right? I sin too every day, right? I would like to say that, like, okay, by human standards, right, I'm a pretty good guy, right? People, they generally like me, right? It makes me uncomfortable to even say that because um, it just makes me uncomfortable to even say that, right? I don't even want to speak for other people or even assume that people like me, but um, the whole point of why I brought that up is that every time I want to judge other people, I know that I need to go to that mirror, and that's the first place I need to start, right? If there's something about so and so that I don't like, I know that I have to start with myself. I have to be perfect first before I can do that, right? He who is without sin cast the first stone, right? Don't judge lest you be judged, right? You got to show mercy to get mercy, right? And so I think that it's important to understand that, um, because I think where people are getting lost, right, is that we were told all these things when we were younger about church and about God, right? I'm ashamed to even say it, that most of what I knew about God is what I learned on TV, you know, or what I heard from people that went to church. I didn't even go myself as a kid or as a young person. I was never pressured or um, molded or even trained to go in a certain direction with God. I mean, I could have picked whatever I wanted to be. If I was Buddhist, I would have been yes, definitely take the log out of your own eye before you take the splinter out of your brother's eye, and exactly it. And so I'm ashamed to say this, but what I've known about God is what I've heard, right? Um, until really, like, and I would say that I would consider myself a serious Christian maybe the last, I don't know, 14 years, but really the last 4 years. I was in the Bible, reading the Bible. My whole life is about God, right? Prior to that, even though I would identify to myself as a Christian, I had no idea about the millennium reign, or uh, I had no idea about what Revelation said. I had no idea about how the Antichrist was going to come, right? I had no idea about that stuff. I just thought that you believe in God and you're nice to other people, and really you just show love to people and acceptance. And my life was actually going pretty good. Um, it wasn't until I really started reading deeply, right, that yeah, I'm still tolerant to other people. I still am nice to other people. The difference is, right, and I'm not judgmental like you would think, right? Even though the truth is very narrow, even though right and wrong is clearly defined, right? Um, that Bible is there for everyone to read, right? And so between me and God, I know that I'm on a narrow path. I know that the things that for me to do to make God happy, right, is it's a narrow road, and it's clearly defined what I can and can't do, right? Now my salvation, right, doesn't depend on that. My salvation is a gift of grace paid for by the blood of Jesus Christ. And nothing else is attached to that, right? And as long as I believe that, then my salvation is there. But as far as living my life, right? Of course I want to do all the things that makes God happy. Of course I want to look at all the teachings and sayings of Jesus, right? That's just as important to me as, well, as what he did on the cross, right? Jesus as an entire person is important to me, right? The work on the cross, of course, that's what the Bible's about. God giving his life to save us, We created this scenario where, we crossed the line and we owed death for that. Our punishment was death. And God is not going to say, okay, well, forget the rules, you guys are off the hook. It doesn't work that way. God is holy. He's good all the time, right? How could he be good all the time and let us off the hook, right? And change the rules all the time. So what he did was he said, okay, well, you guys created a debt where you have to die, so somebody's got to die. And so he came and he fulfilled that contract, and he put himself in our place and died for us so that we would be clean, right? And so that he could stay holy and that we could all exist together still. I mean, basically, God fixed problems. God didn't create any of this, And, well, create any of the problems. I would say that God created everything, top to bottom. But as far as the problems, that's we created that along with the devil, right? And so all I'm saying is this, right? We can still be tolerant and accepting to other people because that's how we get them in here to tell them the truth, right? So that they can hear, a life-saving message, um, in order to, save themselves. Yes, I do have kids. I'm willing to take questions. I do have kids. I have two boys. They're 18 and 20, and my oldest one is saved, and my youngest one has his own ideas and his own thoughts, and it's something that I have to accept right now. That he is his own person with his own relationship with God, how he's going to do it. And so right now he's not saved. But yeah, do you have any kids, Coach Bear? I mean, how do you, I mean, what it is like I want my kids to know the truth. I want my kids to know what right and wrong is defined by God, because that's the only way we know right and wrong is um, is how God defines it, right? God is what defines right and wrong, right? When we define right and wrong for ourselves, right? Um, yeah, hey, we should have a conversation. I mean, that would be great. I mean, email me at goodservantshow@yahoo.com, and I'll give you my number, and we could talk. Yeah, for sure. And like I'm, my demographic is usually like from what I've gathered, right? Like most of the people that watch me are women ages 50 to 75 or something like that. And so I spend most of the time talking to my subscribers listening. And so it would be nice to to be able to talk too. But I enjoy, and I relish every bit of that time listening. Because they got to hear me talk 3 times or 5 times a week or 7 times or however many times they tune in. So you have 5 kids, two out of wedlock, right? Okay, and 3 with your wife. So you were married to your wife and you were unfaithful twice, or you had 2 and then you met your wife and had 3, you know? And so, like, all I have is, like, I was married and I had 2 kids, but that's not to say that I didn't have a very active and sinful lifestyle, Up until about 4 years ago, I gave up everything. I gave up sex, I gave up dating, I gave up even pornography, all of that stuff, right? I completely gave that up to raise my kids. They're at the age where they're becoming men, and I thought it was important to have sexual integrity, and also because of how much I want to serve God right now. And I guess if I met a woman that loved God as much as me and also loved my kids, then yeah, that would be the perfect scenario, but I doubt it. So when you were 16 and when you were 24, then you met your wife at 25. See, my brother had a kid at 16, and I think another one at 18. Very, very quick like that. And now he's got 4 and a grandbaby, and they're still married. And so God bless them. My brother was able to avoid a lot of the mistakes that sometimes I made mistakes, but sometimes mistakes found me. Like I had a very unlucky life as far as getting involved with like learning hard lessons, right? But I have a very lucky life in the fact that God has shown me a lot of grace. A lot of grace to get me out of those situations. I can't say that I'm like a horrific person, but I definitely haven't gotten away with very much. And if I have, it's because of God. Not because there's any kind of like negative behavior that's justified. It's just that God had different lessons to teach me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without God helping me through it. Yeah, and I think that's. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, kids are not mistakes. No, absolutely not. No, no, kids are a blessing. I'll tell you what. If I could afford it, I would have 12 kids. And if you do the math, that's a lot to ask one woman to do. I don't know. I don't know how I would have lived my life before I knew God, but like I've been a Christian for 14, 15 years, but really a serious Christian for the past like 4 or 5 years, And so, like, you know, I really felt deeply um, invested the last 4 or 5 years. So 40 by the time that I really found God, right? And so, trust me, I've lived most of my life any way I wanted to. And the last girl I dated was like, I don't know, like in her like mid 20s maybe. And at some point it doesn't feel right anymore. And so I regret that. Um, you know, but it's just how my life was. And hey, need to connect, man. Hey, have you been able to get some sleep, man? I heard you were bedridden, man. What's going on with you? I mean, sometimes I check in on you guys, man, and you're telling me you're bedridden, and it makes me think that you've been sick or something like that. But no, yeah. So I mean, like the way I've lived my life and how much help that I need to get into heaven, right? That's what Jesus came here to do, is to pay our way into heaven. And so that's why when I look at people, right, that aren't saved yet, they're lost, right? I try not to judge them too harshly, right? Try not to judge them at all, really, right? Because it's between them and God, and I want to leave that open door to where if they want to come in here, that they let. Here's the scenario. I want to be talking to another guy about Jesus, right? And hey, Mary C. Oh, awesome emails today. I'm so happy that you know, I'm so happy that I was able to connect with you today, and so that was great. But no, it's like as far as like the way I feel about people that are lost is like I want to be able to have like a conversation with a guy, right? And have some guy walk by and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Hey, I want to be part of what those guys are doing," and not feel intimidated by scripture and all this other stuff. Oh wow, Cindy, how you doing? Man, it looks great. It looks you're typing and everything. It makes me feel happy. You told me that you were feeling better, and so it just makes me feel great. I'm just delighted. I can't even tell you how good I feel today. Like yesterday, I slept a couple times during the day, all the way up until about 10 at night last night. And of course, I was up through the night again doing research because when I do shows here in the morning, I want when you guys like tune in, I want this to be a good first place to start. Um, you know, but sometimes I just talk to different people and get in different conversations with different people and have some different things to say. And I think one thing that kept popping up is judging the lost. People being judgmental of people that aren't Christian. And yeah, while we know clearly defined what right and wrong is, right? We want to leave that door open, right? Because my narrow road is between me and God, and the rules are there for everyone to read. It's not my job to be the Christian police with a badge and say, look, you all need to do this or blah blah blah, right? It's like if you want what God has to offer you as far as salvation and everlasting contentment, right? Well, then you'll have a change of heart. You'll confess Him as Lord, and then just out of gratitude for being saved, you'll do what you have to do, you know. And I think that's important. And so yeah, man, it just feels good to see you guys, man. So need to connect, man. Are you like sick or something? Oh, Shepherd's voice. Hey, I was gonna text you a private message, right? Because I needed to ask you a question, right? Pretty important question about um, some doctrine stuff that I want to talk to you about privately before I say it on the air, because I want to make sure that I got everything straight. And so yeah, I kind of got bombarded with kind of a weird thing, a weird question, and I just want to get some different opinions on it. And so yeah, Cindy, I mean, hey, look, what are you saying here? Day one with no migraine? Oh man, that makes me feel happy that you don't have a migraine. Well, I mean, need to connect. He dropped in for like a second, right? But when I checked on him, he said he was bedridden and all kinds of stuff. And then I asked him how he's doing, and it's like he disappeared. But every time I go into his live streams, he's always talking about weed and breeding weed plants and all that. So I just, I'm in there. That's what he likes to do, and so whatever. But and he's a good green thumb farmer, whatever, right? So God bless him, right? But it's not my thing, so I just pop in and out. And so, yeah, I just what a day, man! What a day! What a great day! Like I said, I slept pretty good yesterday, and I would say that I've had a pretty good day so far today, and I got some things to do. Right, it's a Friday, and so of course I go to the VA. I have an appointment with a social worker that usually comes out to see me, but then I go to the Veterans Hospital today, and that's always scary, right? Because I want to stay away from medicine completely, and I'm really trying to cut down on everything that I've taken completely, and I don't take anything that's what do you call it, mind altering narcotics or nothing like that. But I want to cut down on these psych meds too, and it's a very slow process. And there's a very good like nurse that's really helping me out over there. And so I just want to be very careful on what kind of medicine I take. And I've prayed about it with God, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to quit all these meds before I die. Like I'm not gonna be able to die perfect. And I want to so bad. I want to die perfect, and I don't want to. I want to make God happy, but I know that that's not possible. None of us, even at our best, are going to fit the mold of what is good, right? And I'm not going to say that we're all equally bad. I would say we're all equally imperfect, and we all need help getting into heaven, right? And so, with the gift of grace of Jesus Christ, that's like, our debt is paid in full, and I just think it's just real good to keep that attitude and to like try to welcome people so that they can come here and hear the truth, And I've been talking about doing some different show ideas, with some different online personalities, and there's one with the kind of a known flat earth female, that I'm pretty excited about like collaborating on to like see if it'll work, as far as the show. I think the energy is right, and I want to have a good morning show, and so I think that's going to be important. Either that or have like a late night show. I haven't decided, one or the other, but it'll either be late night or early morning, and so I'm working on that. And then also, if I get Yardbird or StreamYard or whatever it's called, I'd like to I'd like to do stuff with Tom and Alex again. Maybe not an everyday thing, but like at least once a week, I'd like to check in with those guys. And Tom helped me build the channel. I'd like to have Tom on as much as possible, and of course I love Alex, so I'd like to have Alex on as much as possible too. But I also want to try some new, different show ideas, and maybe even collaborate with like different personalities. Like maybe have like Michelle X and Pete, Pancho Pete, and maybe do a show all three of us or something like that, or even bring Tony in on it. I think that would be cool, and that way we can kind of like band together, because so many of us truthers, right? There's so many different gatekeepers out there that'll only talk about one truth, right? And they won't talk about anything else, and that's to keep us separated, so that we all don't come together and put it all together. Because if you put together all the lies, right, all the uncomfortable lies, right, flat earth, fake science, right, the gender inverted cult following, Hollywood stuff, right, the health stuff, right, you put it all together, and you know what, it really changes how a person views God, right, because you run into the ultimate truth of that Jesus is the truth, right, and they don't want us putting all these lies together because of what it hides, and they're more than willing to put a pastor on mainstream TV as long as he's not preaching a life-saving message, and they're more than willing to put some truther preachers on YouTube, give them some kind of weird doctrine, on half a verse or two verses, and you end up flooded with all these pastors that are not preaching the cross, right? And that's what used to bother me about people. They want to like believe in everything about Jesus except for his sacrifice. Well, that's the only way to get us not the prophet, And so, yeah, when you put everything together, right? When you take your favorite truthers and put them together, right? Then that creates a show where everyone comes together. And that's what they don't want. They don't want us all knowing each other and subscribing to each other and forming web rings to where, like, if Clutch Bear puts something out, I see it. If Cindy puts something out, I see it. If I put something out, you guys see it. That's what they don't want, is for us to share information in that kind of a way. Because they created the internet, right, to feed us full of more propaganda, right? And what we're not doing is we're not going to buy into that, right? Because do you know how many different filters of truth that you have to go through to get to this chat box right here? I mean, it's no small feat for a person to get to this box right here, because you have to go through what, the flat Earth people, the fake science people, the transgendered Hollywood. You got to go through, all the big truther channels, right? Then you got to go into, like, okay, well, who's the truther that speak talking about Jesus, right? And then there's a few of those, and then you meet a couple people in there, right? Finally, you get to my chat box, right? And it's truthers that know about every truth, right? We've heard it all. We've heard about every conspiracy, right? The ones that are real and the ones that aren't real, right? We've heard every different kind of theory about things, and we've heard every kind of thing to get us off of what's truly, truly important, and that's the fact that Jesus died for our sins, and we're in a grace period, right? We're in a grace period right now, and we get to go to heaven where we get to be incorruptible. And all we have to do is want it, We have to want it and believe, right? Confess Him as Lord, and believe that He died for our sins and that God rose Him from the dead, right? And God in the flesh, He took our punishment. He took His own wrath upon Himself. That's everything He could give. And so I'm just so happy. Hey, oh man, Amanda, oh, all my favorite people are here today. I would say my demographic is represented well here, and it's there's not a lot of Canadians in here, that's what's crazy, right? Because you go to Tony's and there's all kinds of Canadians in there, and I love those Canadians, yeah, right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like all these truthers, right? They don't want us to, like, all these different truth channels don't want us to all, like, mingle and mix and get together. They want division between us, right? And so there is division, right? Because there are some people that are into witchcraft. There are some people that are into some crazy Luciferian stuff, right? There's people into, like, abusing people, right? So that all needs to be exposed. But as far as the people that make it here, right, we got to find a way to stay connected. Because you know how when God says you have to love your neighbor as you love yourself, I mean, that's how we're going to have to love each other from this point until the end of time, right? Is we're going to be outcasts everywhere we go. No one's going to want to hear the truth. And what did Jesus say, right? The truth will set you free. Well, that's the only thing that'll set people free, and people don't want to be free, And what are you going to do? What are you going to do when your whole family doesn't listen, your friends don't listen, And it's, Hey, Matt, about a shape. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm just glad everybody's here, man. I think that it's going to be awesome, man. I think this whole thing is going to be awesome. I think once people realize, I hope that the people that are saved, that aren't into the truth, right, get that way real fast. I hope there's something that really sparks to them that, hey, this is the real deal, and you better wake up, to where more people wake up, because the way it looks now, there's very few of us, and I would like for there to be, at least 10 times as many of us, at least that many more. But it really doesn't seem like that many people know the truth and accept it, whether it's comfortable or not, and are willing to talk about it and expose it. And because there's people that are willing to talk flat earth, but they don't want to talk about the gender inversion, or there's people that'll talk about that, but they don't want to talk about God. or the Bible, right? They don't want to consider everything, right? And Jesus tells us how it's going to be, in the last days. And um, people will be getting married and giving gifts to each other and all this stuff when he returns, right? I mean, I don't know why people think that there's going to be all this calamity before it happens, right? Jesus is going to come like a thief in the night. People are not even going to notice he was even here. He's going to come here, swoop us up, and go. And if you're not ready, right? Because I love how people say that nobody knows the day or the hour, right? But they don't read that whole verse, right? That's half a verse. It says, keep watch, right? Keep watch because we don't know the day or the hour, right? We're supposed to be ready to go, And we got to get ready to go. And we need to be ready right now because things are getting weird. And things will get exponentially weird and weirder as we keep going, And yeah, okay, there's a couple chats that we end up in. I mean, there's some boring shows, but that you stick with it because you respect the people, And I'm pretty sure that some of you find me boring or whatever, but I try to stay interesting a little bit, And I hope that you guys get some kind of relief here and you enjoy each other's company, because I know it's kind of a tight group, right? It's a small group. We maintain like 12 in a live session, and I get maybe, I don't know, 60 views within the first, couple minutes. So I figure that's really our tightest group, is like a revolving 60 people, And I don't know where all this 1,200 subscribers is, because I think the most I've ever had on a views I've ever had was 200, or whatever. So sometimes I don't understand how it works, because the subscribers will go up like 200 or 300 in a short period of time, and then it'll stay on a number for like 6 months. It won't budge up or down. So I don't know really how it works. I know a lot of you, I went out and hand selected you guys. Like I seen you guys comment in a comment section of a truther channel, and I said, hey, you know what? Subscribe to my channel. We have a tight little group. Come and hang out with us. And that's how I picked most of you. I don't know if you guys remember either that, or I knew you from some other chat group. And said, hey, come be part of what I'm doing over here, and we can all hang out together. And so yeah, it's just crazy, man. Oh yeah, I mean, Australia, Canada, I mean, a lot of places are like getting tight, like real tight, right? And I have some Australian people that I really like that are fans of the show. Hannah's in Australia, but they are just so strict out there, and they have those COVID passports where you're not going to be able to travel without taking that sting, And so, I worry about people, man. Like, I would like to visit some of you guys. I would like some of you guys to visit me here in California and check out how weird it is, I mean, I feel comfortable here, but it might not be that comfortable for everyone here, To me, it's home. I thought that every place in the world was like this, but everywhere in the world I've ever been is not like this. This place is like, it's weird, and it moves very fast. Like, if you don't get what you want out of, the day, you got to operate quick or you don't get it at all, And so everybody talks fast and walks fast and moves fast. And there could be people, oh, in Ireland, yay! Yeah, I love my European people. Sometimes I just want to like come on at night when you guys are up and have you guys what so it says, Stephen, what does it say? What did you say? It says, Stephen, you do know the number have never been rights. I don't know. Like what does that mean? I don't know. But I know that you've been 100% of the time right all the time, as far as helping me out. I know one time I said mostly right, and you thought I threw you under the bus, but I was just being modest for you, But yes, Mauricie in Ireland, yes, yes. I like my European people, and sometimes I want to come on late at night because I know you guys are up in the middle of the night. You and AJM and all those people, and yeah, I want to like. I was trying to have like a midnight show and a show in the morning, but only one person made it out to see me at night. So I don't know, you know. But yeah, man, it's just crazy up in almost every country is crazy, and America's crazy too. I mean, if when you're in California, you're pretty much you're pretty much in another country because it's definitely weird out here. And what did you say, Shepherd's Voice? Well, it is the weekend of the 4th, and many people are on vacations and stuff. There's a ton of people in your little town. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, where you are, Shepherd's Voice. A lot of people. Oh, there's Alex D, baby, in the house. No mask for him. Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy, man, with these masks, man. It's just like, oops, hold on. I dropped my headphones came out of my ears. You know, not like I'm listening to you guys or anything, right? But it's weird for me to talk without hearing my own voice, right? And and so like yeah, it's weird with these masks. You know, I mean, I pretty much don't wear a mask ever, right? Like I would say 99% of the time, right? But I have to wear it when I walk into the VA hospital and while I'm waiting for my medicine, I have to have it on. So I usually just have it under my chin, and if someone says, "Hey, put that up" or whatever, I just go, "Okay, thank you, sir," you know, and put it up. But I even feel bad doing that because even though I don't mind doing it, when I see my mom or my kids have to put on a mask, it makes me feel like I'm not a man, you know? Like there's something I didn't do or I wasn't man enough to do, and now they got to wear it, you know? And that's when it feels bad. I mean, I wouldn't really care about a mask, me wearing it personally. Um, I'm not, I don't wear it, but, you know, if it was just me, it wouldn't bother me as much as seeing my mother put it on or watching my kids put it on. That makes me feel emasculated, you know? And listen to me, Marici. If they're going to say that you have to take um, a shot in order to go to work, right? What else will they ask you to do? You know? And so I'll tell you what, if you work at a place, right, where they're constantly pressuring you to do it, I wouldn't do it, even if it meant losing my job. I mean, and I know what I'm saying is a harsh thing to say, right? I would say this, right? If somebody asked me to get the shot or I would lose my VA benefits or whatever, then they can just have that stuff, you know? They can have it. Because the next thing they ask you to do is what, you know? I mean, obviously, if there's no sickness, right? Uh, then you know that whatever that goop is obviously not, you know, a cure for it. And so, you know, I got to be careful what I say. What I say is not advice. I'm not giving anyone advice, and this is all for parody. And so, you know, but it's crazy. We got to self-censor ourselves, you know, when we're talking about this stuff. But if 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 X isn't real, then the cure for X is not real too. And it's probably nefarious if they're spending billions and trillions of dollars on it, you know. Why would you spend trillions of dollars or shut down a casino for that when, you know, they don't stop feeding us sugar, they don't stop feeding us McDonald's, people still work in coal mines, right? I mean, those people will die faster, right? And so it is what it is, right? And so there's no way they're going to shut down a casino without a lot of legislation unless everybody's in on it, you know. And I've not like I worked I was in the army, right? And between a few units, if we were planning a barbecue, we could never get our crap together to even have a good barbecue, right? There'd be always something messed up, right? And so I don't know how 200 countries can all agree to shut down at one time unless it was already planned to do that, you know? I mean, no dissenting opinions. There's not one country that says, no, I'll do it my way, you know? I mean, come on, that's not reality. You're saying there's not one celebrity person that's like with an opinion against the grain, right? Well, I mean, is that reality? out of that many people, everyone agrees? That's not reality. I mean, just in our little chat box, we argue all the time, and we agree on most things, right? And so to say that every celebrity was like, oh yeah, this everything's real, and wear the mask, everything's great, it's not reality. People don't agree like that, especially worldwide. There's obviously a concerted effort to do something, and we're getting this whatever injected in us or whatever. Don't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I mean, do what you want. Follow whatever medical advice that you're following, but I'm not doing it. And so that's just is what it is. And so, yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, and not only that, but even if everything was real, right? Let's say everything is real. If I'm not sick, I'm not getting treatment from anybody. That to me, that doesn't make sense. If I'm sick, then yeah, treat me. I need help, right? But I'm not. Now I'm even scared to do that. Like if I was sick, I probably the last place I'd go is the hospital now. Knowing what I know now, I'm scared, man. And it's it's just crazy. I mean, I have a good friend of mine, and I don't want to get emotional right now, but he's somebody I looked up to. Like a guy that's like a strong male figure in my life. And this guy's going through cancer stuff right now, and uh, the treatment is killing him faster than the disease. And so I mean, you see stuff like that, and it is what it is. But no, I just want to say that I love you guys, and man, I really appreciate you guys. If I didn't have you to, talk about all, if I didn't have you to release, what I need to say, I don't know how I would feel. And I know a lot of you that I've talked to and listened to for hours or whatever. There's some of you I can't run. I don't ever run out of things to say to you guys. And that's just a sign of a good friend. Good friend, a family member, really. And so I just want to say I want to keep this group tight and close. I know you guys now, right? Like we all have a relationship now. And, you guys have been there for me when I've needed you. And I will be there for you when you need me. In order to have good friends, you have to be a friend. And so that's what I'm all about. And I might not be right about everything, but I want you guys to be able to count on me to be real. And to know that I'm being authentic. And so, uh, I just, yeah, I hear about cases like that all the time, Alex. It's crazy. And so I just want to say that, I really appreciate you guys. And I have a lot of love for you. And I want to say God bless you and praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, because one day we'll all be in the clouds or wherever heaven is, and we'll be in everlasting contentment, and we'll all be the same, and we'll all fit in, and it'll all be perfect. And so can't wait to meet God. So I just want to say, I love you guys, and I want you guys to have a good day, okay? All right, God bless.